Hello friends, I am Sunil Ranjan and I am an English teacher. Now here I have come up with a video on A Country by Jayant Mahapatra. First I tell you about the writer, or you may say the poet, Jayant Mahapatra. Jayant Mahapatra is an Indian English poet. He was born in 1928 in Cuttack, Orissa. He is the first Indian poet to win a Sahitya Academy Award for English poetry. He is the author of poems such as Indian Summer and Hunger, which are regarded as classics in modern Indian English literature. He was awarded a Padma Shri, the fourth highest civilian honor in India, in 2009. He returned the award in 2015 to protest against rising intolerance in India. Deeply rooted in Indian ethos, Jayant Mahapatra's poems reflect his fascination for Indian myth, culture, heritage, and legends. He is regarded as the true poet of the soil. His themes purely depict the Indian way of life with its realities. His poems carry the backdrop of Indian landscape. His writing resonates with the portrayal of contemporary Indian society, blending the past with the present and creating an idea of the future. Living in his hometown in Orissa, most of his poems center around the happenings and the lives of the people of his soil. However, he beautifully uses the microcosms of his native land to capture, portray, and comment on the macrocosm of India. His recurring themes mostly are poverty, prostitution, social exploitation, economic degradation, alienation, and solitude. He always felt alienated from his surroundings because he belonged to a Christian family living in a predominantly Hindu locality. This sense of alienation came from his grandfather's conversion to Christianity during the famine in Orissa in 1866. His grandfather, Chintamani Mahapatra, had embraced Christianity, retaining his surname, the only Hindu evidence to be passed down to his future generations. Although Jayant Mahapatra belongs to the Christian sect, there are no traces of this evidence in his writings. Instead, he employed traditions and myths of Hinduism in his literary adventure. His poem, A Country, presents a dark state of the Asian countryside that lies rotten in a desolate land, following the age-old myths with no hope of a better quality of life for the poverty-stricken people in the countryside. Now coming to the poem. So first I'll read out the lines and then I'll be coming up with explanation. So here the poem begins. It's the dust everywhere, the burden on my eyes, for they belong to Asia where the air is burnt and incense and ash pile upon their misty whites, where a hunger keeps growing from Turkey to Cambodia, and the years keep trying to smile in the stubborn starvation light. Now the explanation is, the poem begins with a description of the land where there is dust everywhere. This dust is irritating to the eyes. The poet says that the dust belongs to Asia, where the air is filled up with the incense sticks are burnt when people pray to God and show their deep devotion to the Almighty. Though the religious rituals are observed, there is hunger and starvation all around. Such a pathetic state of human predicament stretches from Turkey to Cambodia, and the time continues to pass as ever. Now, coming to the lines again. When darkness falls, the old speak of the past with sleepy voices. My ears tremble when I hear their tales. I look at their faces, and their eyes are dead as stone. Here is my world, and it makes me dream as a child. Now the explanation. The poet further says that when night falls, the people belonging to the old generation speak of the history of the land in their tired, sleepy voices. The poet is deeply touched and alarmed when he hears what they say. When he looks at their faces, he notices stony silence in their eyes. As he belongs to the same continent, like a child he begins to dream of a better future of the land. Now coming to the lines of the poem. Yet why do I wear myself out, feeling for the girls who die before their breasts are swollen with milk? Why am I hurt still by the look in the hand of that graceful Maxwell girl who appeared out of nowhere that winter, holding a knife as old as history? Sometimes at night, when all voices die, my mind sees earth, my country, to accept sacrifice, the loss of friends and sons who vanished suddenly in 72. Now the explanation is, the poet is shaken by the death of the girls who die much before they grow into women, taking form as a mother that feeds milk to her child. He questions himself as to what it is that hurts him so deeply when he looks at a nuptial girl who appears before him one winter with a knife in her hand, reflecting the bloody revolt against the state that failed to deliver social justice. Sometimes at night, when there is silence all around, he thinks of the land and his country that witnessed sacrifice of his friends, the sons of the soil who disappeared in the year 1972. Now coming to the poem again. However much I provoke and curse, I am unable to force an answer out of you. Wherever I try to live in pious penitence at Puri, or in the fiery violence of a revolutionary, my reason becomes a prejudiced sorrow like socialism. Now the explanation is, in a deeply pained and reflective mood, the poet addresses the land by saying that to whatever degree he provokes and curses the land, he knows well that he is not going to get any answer from it. Either he lived regretting the loss of lives in the pious land of Puri, or joined the revolutionary forces out against the government. His rational mindset continues to lament and regret only at such losses to the people and the government. The state. His sorrow, he says, is like socialism that advocates social ownership of the means of production, that demands social revolution resulting in large-scale violence against the state that forces its decision on the people of the land. Now coming to the text, and not understanding myself, not understanding you, like the still, strange shapes of hills in the distance, I too listen to the faraway wailing of hyenas. Now the explanation is, the poet here seems to be in such a mental state that despite his thinking deeply, he does not understand how to react in such a situation, as he fails to understand the situation and at the same time he is not able to understand himself. Like the still and mysterious hills far away, enigmatic, he just passively listens to the howling of hyenas. The visual imagery employed by the poet here presents a picture of physical as well as emotional paralysis. Now coming to the last stanza, aware of the dying countryside around them, tortured by hunger and the reek decay in the air, after the age-old myths had been told all over again. Now the explanation is, here again the poet presents the dark picture of countryside, the dying countryside, which is devoid of any hope or progress-oriented action. The place smells of decay and rottenness all around, with people following the age-old myths that dictate the passing of such a stagnant and dark state of human survival. So friends, here I come to the end of the poem with its explanation, and if you subscribe to my channel, I promise that I will be coming up with quality videos for you from time to time. Thank you.